I am Nick from Pandas Online. It stands for Promoting Acceptance of Neurodivergence and Support.
I'm Zoe from ZEP Advocacy, and I do autism advocacy, especially on the behalf of young people.
Okay, we're going to talk to you today about
Masking.
And what is the impact of masking. Okay, so what is masking?
Masking is when you hide who you are and you change your actions to try and fit in with people around you.
Yeah, so it's a response to being in environments where maybe you don't feel safe to be yourself, and you can be sort of driven to project an acceptable version of yourself. And are you always aware that you're masking?
Now, it can be unconscious, or you could actually choose to mask.
Okay, and this is different from other sort of behavior changes that you might have, like being a bit different around your friends
or your family,
or swearing at Christmas dinner.
Yeah, you can get in a lot of trouble with that.
Okay, so that's what masking is. Now, masking is a very personal experience, particularly autistic people, and sometimes people can't tell that you're masking, and if you don't know you're masking, but we're going to talk a bit about sort of an observational model of masking because it's really important in terms of recognizing it. So
should we talk about the observational model?
Okay, so I often talk about a polar bear, don't I?
Yes, it's one of your three bears.
It's one of my three bears. So polar bears are observed to be white, but actually their fur is translucent, and that means it reflects our environment. So a polar bear's skin is actually black, and if we look at a polar bear, you might assume that it's white, but actually you'd be wrong. And often that's why an observational model of masking in autistic people doesn't work either, because it's reflecting the environment and the safety they feel. Another thing that's really important in terms of the impact of masking is being invalidated. So how does that feel to you?
I went through a time of quite heavy masking, and the invalidation hit me quite hard because it made me feel like I wasn't valid in my own emotions when I rarely recognized them because of my alexithymia. I rarely recognized my emotions, but when I did, I was told that they were wrong and that it was always fine, which I never was. And so I just kept thinking in my head, yeah, I'm fine. I'm not sad or uncomfortable. My needs don't matter. And I kept thinking stuff like that. Invalidation has a huge impact on people.
Yeah. So I think even if you're sitting there thinking that it's really loud and my body's response, this is actually pain, but then people are telling you it's fine. So you're young, you might start to not listen to your body, or you might think that you're wrong. And that can have a huge impact on you later down the line. And it can stop you making accommodations for your needs. So in the long term, this can result in something we call
autistic burnout.
Yeah, which is a lot less jazz handsy than that sounded.
Yeah, it's kind of the ironic because it's actually really terrible.
We deal with trauma through humor.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so what can that look like? Maybe if you're unconsciously masking as a young person, what can that look like?
It can lead to breakdowns, or it can lead to the Coke effect. You know, when you shake a Coke bottle and then at the end of the day you open it and then it just shoots and foams out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to play a bit of a game, and this is an odd game that actually you don't want to win, but we're going to sort of select things from this bowl that we've got down here, and these are things that could help you sort of decide and know whether you're in autistic burnout.
If you get a bingo, you're probably in autistic burnout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the first one is struggling to keep your attention on things you like doing.
So yeah, I think,
for example, when I'm burnt out, I really like to code, but then it really frustrates me and I can't concentrate on it anymore. And I find it really frustrating when I can't concentrate anymore, and I don't know why sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to do one.
Yeah, take turns. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. So rejecting choices that you normally think are safe. So things that you might enjoy doing, things that you normally do, all of a sudden you might not want to do those things.
Let's go. Decrease in language or communication skills. For example, if you're in burnout, you could start to stutter, or you could suddenly start forgetting words. I've done that many a time.
Or you could become situationally mute.
Yeah. You could become nonverbal and just not want to speak. And then it's really hard because when people don't realize you're in burnout and then you don't want to speak.
And then it's harder to communicate.
Because then they're like, what do you think about it?
Absolutely.
Make sure we don't put them back in the bowl like we did in the first myths video.
So this one says you're more easily overwhelmed. So that everything's just that bit too much, that stuff bothers you more than it normally does, that your sensory system's not quite right and you can't cope with that.
It's like surface tension on the top of a cup of water when it goes slightly above the surface, but one drop can literally make it all spill out. And then from now on, if you add any more drops, it's just going to spill out everywhere.
Absolutely. That's a fabulous analogy. No,
thank you. Yes, it's my turn. Physical pain or headaches? Yes. Just yes.
Just yes. I think a lot of people, particularly if you're unconscious that you're masking, if you've been invalidated a lot, you can actually get to a point where you can be quite poorly before you realise that you're really struggling.
In school, I used to go to the sports day, and every day about it, I would get so anxious, and I would decrease all my students, and I would just have this massive headache. So I'd be too ill to go into. You can literally make yourself so stressed that you literally want to throw up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do.
It's your turn.
No.
I'm not doing very good sharing.
We're going to go with a different one because we've sort of talked about how it all feels too much with another one.
Fair enough.
So finding joy in things that you do. So okay, we'll do this one.
Okay.
I've clearly linked to some of these. Wanting more control over your life or your environment. So I think even as adults, when we get stressed, you go into a mode where you want to do less, you're able to cope with less, and you want to have more control over your environment, over your life. And I think that's very much true of children.
I do this phenomenon called the depression pit. So as soon as I run out of spoons, or and I feel unable to function, and I feel like I've lost control, everything just forms like a little circle around the bed with all the mess, and then I have to tidy it up because there's all these, it's just like clothes, there's just stuff I've thrown over the side of the bed, and I just basically live there. It becomes a very.
I also don't go into her room at that.
Yes, definitely. I wouldn't
don't go in the room.
Poor health, getting poorly and struggling to recover. We've kind of talked about that.
Yeah, I think there's something else in there in the struggling to recover bit. So if you get a cold, and that normally would take you 2 days, say, I think sometimes you can get to a point where that can take you a week, it can take you months, it can take you get sort of trapped in a bit of an illness cycle.
Yeah, for example, if you get very, very upset, where it could get to the point of depression, it's why try to get back up? It's fine here, even though you're not fine, because again, you're still gaslighting yourself inside your head from invalidation.
Yeah.
It's got dark fast. Well, to be fair, it is actually quite terrible, and it can lead to very severe after effects.
We've decided to end on a positive, but yeah, this is tough stuff, but it's important stuff.
It's really, really important stuff, because it can lead to long-term damage for your long-term mental health.
Absolutely.
And even physical health, because again, about the sinking yourself into being ill.
I've doubled some of these. I think I got overexcited with the paroxysms. And I have literally doubled them. Do you want to do the last one?
Yeah, sure. We could do it together. Okay. Not wanting to be with family or friends.
To be alone.
I want to be alone. And just on the phone, just scrolling.
In your bed pit.
Yeah. Within the depression pit, there is the bed. And then there is the doom scrolling on stuff like YouTube Shorts or TikTok or just YouTube in general or just on social media. But it doesn't get spoons back as well as you think it does.
Yeah.
And you just spend late hours in the night just going.
Yeah.
And then your TikTok for you page telling you that you were definitely autistic.
We should probably quickly explain spoons to people, since you said you don't get your spoons back.
Spoons. Yeah, let's do spoons.
Okay, so spoons is what a chronic illness community and quite a lot of people use in terms of energy accounting. So if you say you're low on spoons, or you're using lots of spoons, or you haven't got many spoons, that's talking about the amount of energy you can expend out into the world to do tasks, even just basic tasks.
So get Mr. Spoon.
No, we don't need to get Mr. Spoon off the wall. Okay, so we said we'd end on a positive.
Yep.
What's the most important factor around not needing to mask, not using all of your spoons, and not ending up in burnout?
Yeah, and like demasking. Well, not ending up in burnout is you have to, even if you don't want to, you still have to do the things that make you feel comfortable and safe, and you have to get up. I mean, think of it like this: if you don't want to get out of bed, you've done one great thing today by getting out of the bed and getting dressed, and you can give yourself points for that. And then one of my best tips for demasking is find some good people. I have found a really good group of safe friends who make me feel happy, comfortable, and safe, and feel like I can be myself around them. And that has been an amazing factor in helping me demask and basically wearing it away. And this now I do much less masking and have much less burnout.
Yeah, I also think some people call it the golden equation, but in autism plus environment equals outcome, which it talks a lot about getting your environment right. And I think that's probably been the biggest change with you over the last couple of years, that you have gotten your environment and your world right, which has allowed you to do that. You've got a really good understanding of your needs, and as you say, you quite regularly feel safe, and that's really, really important. And that is the key to having better mental health outcomes, lessening burnout. Okay, thank you for listening. I'm glad you came. It was easy.
Bye.